So, hello, welcome back to another episode of the Self-Development with Tech News podcast. Today we once again going to go through the Stoicism subreddit. I'm already having two rather good questions that I've actually already answered a few times, I guess. But today we're having a tiny little guest. Tiny little big test. Test, yes.
Hello,
Test.
I'm the tiny little big test.
The tiny little big test.
Hello.
So, should be fine. I hope the audio is fine. I actually do not care. Post-production should be rather good. I'm gonna read a question or statement. I never ever know. Reddit is such a fucked up platform. Sometimes people are just ranting. Anyway. Okay, I am a millennial and grew up in this comparative, I guess, culture. Time and time I feel low and worthless. Steve Jobs did great things. My friends got high-paying jobs. Got high-paying jobs than me. Well, got good relationships. And here I am bad at all of them. How do I change this thinking? So what are your thoughts on comparing yourself to other people in general?
I think comparing yourself to other people can be a great asset. It can be positive because it can motivate you to do greater things and to try and achieve, I'd say, higher goals. But on the other hand, it can really destroy your worth, as this guy or person already stated. And I think it's a really dangerous thing to do because you can't really compare yourself to anyone because no one's the same and everyone's an individual. So no one really has the same circumstances to grow and to develop themselves or reach their goals or don't.
I would say so as well, but I think it's a great way to see where you're at. So, okay, I'm this person and I'm at this stage of life. And me comparing myself to other people, to my peers, to whatever, or whomever, gives me the ability to reevaluate whether I am doing good or bad.
That's true, and I understand that, but I feel like that's sometimes a little difficult because you can't really be objective here. That's a really subjective subject matter. Yeah. Because everyone has different strengths and weaknesses. So maybe comparing your current state to where you were a year ago
makes more sense, yeah.
Makes more sense in being objective.
But I think this is like kind of the most cruel way of comparing yourself to something. I mean, it is the most objective and it's the most reasonable.
Yourself from an earlier time?
Yes. Because when you fucked up, then you're really going to be sad. Or maybe happy if you're improved,
or happy.
Could also be the case, but
because there's ups and downs.
But I think on the other hand, it is this victim mindset that I'm seeing so often nowadays. Also when people are talking about social media, like, okay, yeah, social media is so bad and it is making me feel bad. And I would say no, it's not making you feel bad, it is yourself that is making you feel bad. Social media is just being like the catalyst of this. But in the end, there is like social media, your reaction, and then how you feel. And in the end, it is your reaction that fucks things up.
I agree, but social media is, in the end, the factor that distorts your reality. Because people on social media don't show every aspect of their life. They only show the good things. Or the things they know do well in the algorithm.
Well, sure, but I can see that.
And not everyone realizes. Especially younger people.
Yeah, that's true. But I wouldn't still blame it for everything. I would still blame myself.
Well, of course, one has to take a step back if you realize social media or your subconscious comparison to other people on social media is ruining your life. You have to be the one to take the step back and delete Instagram, Snapchat, TikTok, whatever. Of course, I agree with you. But I think social media plays a greater role than many people think it does. And many creators play a bigger role in many people's lives than they think they do.
You really think?
If that makes sense.
Yeah, I guess I know what you mean. Well, could be. I think they know that.
I don't think everyone knows. I don't think each creator knows.
I think they know that they do have quite some influence over people, but not what big of a. Also in a positive way sometimes, which is something that I really find great.
Of course.
The positive impact they can have on people. Like I often do see people commenting like, "Okay, you made my day," or I don't know, having cancer even, and you're the only reason why I'm fighting because I watch your videos and I'm so fucking happy about
that.
That's great. I really love that. On the other hand, of course, there's a lot of creators that are using their influence for bad quote-unquote things or very selfish reasons. I mean, commercial reasons or money in the end or whatever. But how would you then say comparison as a tool, how could one use it? How should one use it? How are you using it?
I think comparing yourself to other people is always difficult. Especially when you're trying to use it as a non-toxic tool, I'd like to say, and a non-self-destructive tool. So I think you have to be really careful about taking the circumstances or in looking at the circumstances of yourself and this person. Because I think comparison, as we already talked about, can be great. But you have to keep in mind that some people have a different starting point than you do. So I don't think it's... Well, you have to be realistic, basically, I think.
Yeah.
It's never... When talking about the huge topic about body image on social media, you can't look up to someone or compare yourself to someone who obviously does not have a similar body type to you. I don't think that's realistic. So I'd say look for people who seem similar to you or who have similar strengths or looks, if it's about fitness, for example. And then I think it can be good or great even. But I don't think every comparison is achievable even.
What about using it for making yourself feel better about yourself, in terms of okay, I'm looking at people that obviously look way worse than I do, just to feel better about myself. What about that? Because I, to some degree, of course, this stating it like this, it's like fucking toxic. It sounds
horrible. Yeah,
it is horrible. But in the end, it does kind of make sense. I mean, if social media is making me feel bad because other people are just seemingly looking better than I do, what about just doing the opposite? Okay, I'm looking at overweight, obese, whatever people, and I'm like, well, I am not that quote unquote, or not this person. I'm actually not that bad. I'm not as bad as I think I am.
Well, I think that's kind of human to think like that, because it's human nature to compare yourself to weaker links as well. It's been like that during evolution and everything. So I think that happens subconscious largely too. But of course, you can take active measures, quote unquote, and watch, I don't know, reality TV shows like super size versus super skinny. And then you're like, I'm so glad I don't look like that. Which makes sense, but
is it amoral?
Yeah, I think, of course, I'm not holy either. I have watched those shows as well. But I don't think gaining positive energy from a malicious or negative intent makes a lot of sense.
Okay.
I don't think gaining empowerment from negative energy is beneficial.
Rather
rather than gaining positive energy from positive empowerment?
Well, I would in general say that the best way to get more energy or have more energy or achieve more energy is using yourself and like just from the inside, quite not letting outside things control you that much that they either kind of replenish your energy or kind of steal it from you.
Exactly, but I feel like that can be hard sometimes. No,
it really is. Of course, it is. As it is with substances in the end. You know, of course, we're using substances to get to a certain state of mind, for example. But well, anyway, the next one, which is actually a really cool one, and I'm excited to hear your thoughts about them.
Me too.
Or about it. Can Amor Fati lead to recklessness/dangerous lifestyle? I kind of do not really care about the question, but I want to talk about Amor Fati. Amor Fati, translated, which is I guess Latin, means love faith, love your faith. There are different translations. And so in the end, it is love faith. Whatever you're encountering, you do not like it, but you love it. Whether it is something good or whether it is something bad.
Okay.
You love it. What I'm seeing in it is you're encountering something bad, but you try as fucking hard as you can to love it. I think it is... it's making things more easy and more lightweight. Nothing is too serious then.
I don't know. I'm not sure I quite understand the essence of loving your fate. Because it's not like accepting your fate, is it, right? It's
more than accepting it.
It's more than accepting it.
Yes.
It's loving all the aspects
I
of fate.
do not want it to be different. Whatever I'm encountering, whatever I'm seeing, whatever I'm doing, or whatever life is giving me, I do not merely accept it, but I don't want it to be different. Quite. My formula for greatness in a human being is Amor Fati, that one wants nothing to be different, not forward, not backward, not in all entity, not merely bear with it necessary, still less conceal it. All ideals is, what the fuck ever this means, mendacity in the face of what is necessary, but love it.
What do you think about this idea?
Well, I do like it. I like it because it may force you to see the good in whatever you're encountering. I don't know, you've gotten a bad grade in a test, and you feel like, well, okay, I don't accept this bad grade, but I love it. Okay, what is the benefit of me having this bad grade? Maybe I failed this test, maybe I failed the class even, but what are the good sides of this situation that I'm facing right now?
I agree with what you say, but I'm not sure how I feel about the idea of loving bad things happening to you. For me, it's easier to see life as ups and downs, and everything happens for a reason. Maybe that's some kind of lighter version of this. Because I feel like whenever something bad happens to you and you don't allow yourself to grieve, and you don't allow yourself to pity yourself sometimes, I feel like it just kind of smooths out the ups and downs of life, and it just becomes this constant state of
neutrality.
Constancy?
Yeah, I know what you mean. Yeah. Yeah. Difficult. Because I would actually agree with you. If I like everything, if I love everything,
then you love nothing. If you love everything,
yeah, because
you love
there's no
nothing.
contrast.
Yeah.
Because if I don't hate anything, whatever the opposite of love may be, I don't know. Only great pain is the ultimate liberty of the spirit. But it also depends. I do not know all the little details of Amor Fati.
Sure.
Just know the overall concept. Amor Fati is often associated with what Friedrich Nietzsche, called eternal recurrence or whatever. The idea that over an infinite period of time, everything recurs infinitely. From this, he developed a desire to be willing to live exactly the same life over and over for all eternity. Long for nothing more fervently than this ultimate eternal confirmation and seal. I mean, this may just be too big of a thought for me now.
I definitely feel that.
You do?
I feel you.
Also. However, I found the most explicit who made love of fate central to this philosophy in Why I Am So Clever. The phrase is used elsewhere in Nietzsche's writings and is representative of the general outlook on life that he articulates in section blah 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 blah. I do like in section 276 of The Gay Science. Because doesn't gay mean like happy? Something around that?
I don't know the etiology of this word.
You
I'd have to look that up. No, unfortunately.
Because I think
my linguistic knowledge of certain words is very limited, as I only had that one semester. Lighthearted and carefree.
Yeah. But I find it really funny that it is connotated in such a bad way. Bad.
Well,
I mean, gay isn't bad.
Yeah, but you don't nowadays. You don't even have to put it in quotes and unquotes, because many people hear it for the first time as a bad word, which is a tragedy.
Oh yeah, that's right. But that's because of culture and whatever. But this other way of saying gay, I mean, I would love to use this word in that way more often. Just because I can, and just because this is the word. Just to go against this this connotation, I'd say.
Yeah, and the trend of using it as a swear word.
First of all, that, and second of all, like it. I don't know. I mean, when I say I feel something bad when I hear gay, well, this is a very bad statement. But I think you know what I mean. Just because of the connotation it has, like, okay, you are gay as a swear word.
Yeah, it's a slur, really.
Yeah, right. Anyway.
Unfortunately.
Back to what Nietzsche said. I wanted to learn more and more to see as beautiful what is necessary in things. Then I shall be one of those who makes things beautiful. Amor Fati, let that be my love. Henceforth, I do not want to wage war against what is ugly. I do not want to accuse. I do not even want to accuse those who accuse. Looking away shall be my only negation. Or negation, I'm sorry. And all in all, and on the whole, someday I wish to be only a yes-sayer. I don't like yes-sayers.
I was gonna say, how do you feel about that last part?
I hate it.
Someday I wish to be a yes-sayer.
I mean, I guess you're making your life easier by being a yes-sayer.
But Nietzsche doesn't mean the yes-sayer
in this way.
We
mean. Yes, obviously.
He says it's a person who is capable of uncompromising acceptance of reality.
Per se. I, by the way, use per se very often, and I love it.
Really?
Yes. Also in German.
Man of culture.
A man of culture. Did you read Das? I guess this is actually a spelling mistake. Spake Zarathustra?
Unfortunately not. Did you?
I guess I did, but I didn't understand anything. It's just Nietzsche's writing. For me, it's very difficult to understand from time to time, especially when it is in English. Also German. I mean,
it's a really difficult style either way.
I'd say.
Really sophisticated.
But I do well, yeah, maybe it's just my lack of
No, in general.
Capabilities, yes. I do not even want to accuse those who accuse. I think this is a good thing. Maybe not caring too much about things that you shouldn't care about. And I'd say that this is more what Amor Fati is about. Not necessarily... Well, it's difficult. Anyway. I guess this is going to be it for today. Yeah, I don't know.
Thank you so much for having me.
You're very welcome, and very welcome to be here. In the same spot as we always are again. Quite. I don't know. Normally I'm sitting there. Anyway. Gonna see you the next time. Bye bye. Have a nice day. Take care.